Hello, Mithli here. Welcome back to me wood smithy. Today we're going to do another episode of Mithli Unboxes. This time we're doing Wen's 13-inch spiral cutter head planer. So with that being said, let's get to it. Open her up and see what we have inside. For this, those of you who know me know I like to do my research before buying. I did lots of looking, and this just gives you a lot of features of the higher-end ones for that spiral cutter head for longer life, cheaper knife replacement, but at a lower price point. So you could do the same thing with like the DeWalt. However, with the DeWalt you end up paying more initially, and then you have to pay even more to get that same spiral cutter. So as you can see, it's nice and packaged in here well. Box inside a box. Hopefully not another box inside the box inside the box. Right on top, we get our instructions, like we talked about last time. We don't just toss these. This is how we make sure the gnomes don't blow us up. So we'll look at these later. I don't think you guys need me to read them out loud to you. Oh. Some more corner supports to help keep things safe in this next box. Styrofoam top. That's a big old heavy duty and heavy boy. This is 80 pounds. Shipping weight. So, unlike last time, you can see no assembly required this time. Just a little bit of watching me struggle to get it out. I like how well it's packaged. Keep everything nice and well protected, no matter what shipping. Move it up to the table here and start taking a look. Alright. So, some silica to help protect. Some more styrofoam inside here. Has some different features. Solid cord. This looks like it's part of the dust collection. We do actually have a little bit of assembly, so we're going to take a slight break, get everything put together the right way, and then we'll walk through and talk through features of this planer. All right. Hope you all had a good break. I didn't actually finish complete installation because I wanted to be able to talk about some of the features back here. So, should be able to see in the camera, we actually have the cutter head here, and it's got these little blades, individual blades that are in here. It's where that spiral cutter head tops out. And so one of these goes bad, you just got to replace one of those instead of a chip, meaning you got to replace a complete blade set. And so, while I won't install it now, the dust collection itself, with its storage for tools, which is a nice feature, just sits right over the top of that, and that's why we didn't install that yet. But this would go in a pair of these, and we just attach it down, and then we're good to go. You got your outfeed table here, and actually through here is where your boards are going to run. So we'll just rotate this a little bit as we continue to talk. So here we have an adjustment, so you can make it adjusts to stop, and we'll look at that in a moment as we finish going around to the front side. But this just controls how much you can lower your actual depth, so that you don't accidentally cut away too much more material than you intend. Once again, that's just a depth stop. Alright, to the front where you'd see most of your work. Over that in-feed table, you can see here, this is our actual depth adjustment. This is the handle for adjusting here. To lower or raise. Every turn is a 1/16 of an inch. So a quarter turn would be approximately 1/64. Half turn 1/32, a full turn 1/16, 16 turns to get a whole inch. And then it just raises and lowers this here. And I don't know if you can see back in here, but we were talking about that depth stop earlier, and that just slides basically a stair looking piece of metal in there to adjust how much we can raise or lower this. And also as you go along, because you'll have your wood in here, and it will actually show, as it goes through, it'll show you how much wood's actually being removed. And so you want to, ideally, typically you do fairly shallow passes. Softer wood, you can be a little more aggressive. The harder the wood, the more shallow you want to be so you don't bog down or overload the motor. Speaking of which, if you happen to overload the circuit breaker, it's got a reset. It's your on-off switch, and it's got a safety, so if you're not in the shop, you can pull that. That way your younglings can't come along and start it up. And so that's it. I'm not going to run anything for you. It's going to make noise. I got to finish putting the last piece on for dust collection anyway. And we'll look at that just one last time. It's pretty big. Will fit a normal shop vac hose, where it's got the even wider if you want to put a 4-inch hose. So that's a neat setup they have, so you have both in one, not having to keep track of an extra piece. Well, I hope this has been a nice unboxing for you guys, and eventually we'll have that review, just like one day we'll have a review of some of these other tools once we've used it more. Until that time, adventure on, and remember, always hand forged, Dwarven tough.